We're back. You're listening to Common Sense on News Talk 103.3 WEZS. Our phone number is 603-524-6288. We're with Skip Murphy and Jane Cormier, and we're talking about all the fun and frivolity of Gunstock and all the as much of the behind-the-scenes discussion as we legitimately can have.
Subterfuge is another good word.
And what we're trying to do is bring about a better understanding of who this group, Citizens for Belknap, really is and why they exist. Something that hasn't been said is that there are people who would like to see less Republicans representing Belknap County.
Conservative Republicans.
Conservative Republicans representing Belknap County. And maybe that's a valid political position, and maybe that's a reason for forming a PAC. Certainly free speech is part of this, and I support free speech in all of its forms. So the thing that I would like to do next is maybe talk a little bit about the article where we started.
Mm-hmm.
It was a New Hampshire Business Review article. Who was the author of that article?
Mm-hmm.
Mike Kitch. And I have a response on Granite Rock later on today.
Okay, so Mr. Kitch presented an article, and is it a representation that you feel is complete and fair?
I would call him an open ghostwriter for the PAC.
An open ghostwriter for the PAC. So Mr. Kitch wrote this New Hampshire Business Review article. Perhaps you could give us some details that were the reason it caught your attention.
The speak in the article was very metered. That, you know, it's almost like music. Isn't that funny? There's a certain rhythm to leftist doctrine that when you've read enough of it, you can kind of see, feel where they're going with it. But I kind of knew what was happening, you know, with Gunstock a little bit, and I knew that what they were putting forth in that article was not necessarily truthful. I knew enough that it wasn't truthful that I started to dig as to who was the head of this organization, the face for this organization, Citizens for Belknap, who they tell us right in the first paragraph of the article is the guy that's putting this forth, is a gentleman who is the New Hampshire Deputy Director of Open Democracy NH.
Open Democracy New Hampshire sounds like a group that might have affiliations on the left.
You think?
Isn't it funny how the more like nice sounding open, oh yeah, open, I like open democracy.
Yes.
Yeah, I like
Right.
democracy. You know, they it's just like the Chi-Coms, they call it the People's Republic,
Yeah, there you
when
go.
it's neither.
Yeah, of course not. The thing that scared me about it when I started to dwell into it was that it was so much bigger than the Gunstock, as big as Gunstock is for Belknap County. To me, this was sort of like a precedent in which I've seen a campaign so well structured, so carefully worded, that I was kind of shocked by it. And I thought, whoa, okay, well, you know, I've kind of seen a lot. This one's really impressing me. The thing is Belknap, someone in Citizens for Belknap, somewhere along the line, had to make a connection with this very well-connected gentleman, Brian Beal, who is now their, you know, the Citizens for Belknap director for this little PAC, right? Who would so go over to the dark side to hook this up together so that they could put forth this PAC campaign?
Well, the political action registration form says that Alan Posnack of Alton Bay
Mm-hmm.
is the chairman of the PAC.
So did he go to Brian Beal, or did Brian Beal go to him?
I don't know, but he is a longtime registered Democrat,
Oh.
hard leftist.
So they know each other. This probably explains how they did it. But here's the thing that the folks need to know. When they say that they're looking out for Belknap County, it's hooey. It's not true. The Open Democracy NH has found its hill to put its little flag in, the mountain, to try to get out conservative representation in the most conservative district in the state of New Hampshire. That's what they've done. They could give a crap about the taxpayer because this is all about furthering their cause for Open Democracy New Hampshire, which is a leftist organization.
So there's,
So they're gonna have a trans ski day at Gunstock if they win?
I don't know.
Don't get me
Who knows?
started.
That's a bad
I
party.
know, that was kinda,
That's all right.
that was.
what this group seems to have done, the appearance here is that it has opened the door for bringing dark money into the local political process in Belknap County. Now, why would that be of value? Why would dark money flow from people like the Soros organization or the Zuckerbergs of the world? The conduit would be the Open Democracy Group,
Yes.
and the dark money allows the people who are providing it to have a leverage into our local politics.
Right.
This is the beating heart of the Republican organization in the state. It's the most conservative. Belknap County is the most conservative county in the state.
Yes.
All of our reps are Republican, and that's probably been a good thing for the county financially, and it's probably been a good thing for the state. If you look at
Absolutely.
the New Hampshire House of Representatives, the difference between the parties is the Belknap County delegation. That's why there is a Republican majority in Concord. That's why there would be motivation to bring dark money to Belknap County. 60,000 people.
Right.
They need to bring Zuckerbucks to Belknap County? Really?
They
O-
are.
Open Democracy, if you go to discoverthenetworks.org and you follow a lot of that through, you will finally end up at another well-named organization, Open Society, which is a
That's
Soros group.
Soros, yeah.
Correct.
Um,
Yeah.
Open Democracy also gets a lot of money from the Tides Foundation,
Yes.
which is also a very leftist organization. It's where those
Isn't that
who
Barbara Streisand got something to do with tides?
Who knows?
No? Okay.
Oh,
Might
the
as well.
Streisand effect. Well, we can talk about that another time.
Isn't she famous for eating those pods that they sell? No.
That was
I'm
a
sorry.
that was a big fad 3 years ago, wasn't it?
No, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, we-
was
Non
bad.
sequitur. That's okay.
All right, so back at the ranch, we have a situation here now where we have a newly formed PAC that purports to represent the citizens of Belknap. I think that's rather presumptuous on their part, but okay.
But in the article, it's clear. In the article, they're talking in a whole paragraph about the Republican.
They didn't
folks.
talk.
They did. It was in the article twice, where Beal, talks about dissatisfaction in Republicans and how they're coming together.
Does he live in this county?
No, he doesn't. But
My.
so it's understand too. It gets complicated by the fact that just because you have an R in the world of alphabet soup and politics does not mean that you are fiscally or otherwise for the taxpayer, right? So you got to be careful with that one too. But obviously, Mr. Brian Gallagher is a Republican, right?
But not in Belknap County anymore.
Well, yes, I understand
Well, he's
that,
still a
but
Belknap County resident. No?
no,
I don't
that's
believe
why
so.
he had
sold
to.
his property.
That's
Well,
why
he's not a taxpayer, but he is a resident.
I don't
think.
even know if he still lives here.
I-
Whatever it is, we're saying that as a Republican, he's the treasurer of this organization
all right.
that has annexed its way to Open Democracy NH.
There's a word for all this, AstroTurf.
AstroTurf. I see. So what we're watching is what's called a pop-up.
Yep.
In the political world of dark money, pop-ups are what you create when you want to put a lot of money into a given location. You find a cause, and
Yes.
then what you do is you create an organization to sponsor one side of the cause.
Right.
And that's what this particular political action committee does.
Perfect.
Yep, AstroTurf means you're buying your grassroots.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt here for a second because we're getting down to the final couple of minutes. So I think it's time to do the wrap up.
Yes.
Jane, we'll give you first bite at the apple.
First bite of the apple to wrap up. I just love Belknap County. I love the fact that they've been able to hold the line with regard to respecting the taxpayer's wallet, and I just hope that they continue to manifest a good delegation to do that.
Skip?
This is all about politics born out of revenge and retribution. That's pure and simple. The toy box was taken away, and they want it back. And somebody else
We
is seeing it
see
open.
that so many times, don't we? In so many different things that go on, not just Gunstock and not just New Hampshire for that matter. All right, well, we're coming down to the final minute here, so I just want to say thank you to Skip and Jane for coming in today.
Thank you.
More great information on the machinations at the mountain. You like that alliteration?
Very
like
nice.
that.
See, it's
Very
all about
professional.
alliteration.
Very nice.
Okay, now I gotta write some more.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to what's up for next week, if anything.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to give you as part of the sign off is from John chapter 8, verse 32. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Next week we'll have General Baldock in. He's running for Senate from the state of New Hampshire. So it's all yours.
All right.
Take
Well,
it
I
away.
want to thank you for listening to Common Sense. Don't forget the podcast will be up in a couple of minutes. You're listening to WEZS Laconia, and we will see you next Saturday, 9:05. Bye.
Croc TV.